Hey, what's going on, guys? It's David here from Genzio. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada for BTC 2025 at the DNA House for the Silent Swap event. I'm here with Shibtoshi of Silent Swap. How you doing, man?
Doing all right, man. Just enjoying my time out here. A lot of big names, a lot of good interviews. Happy to be here.
Cool, man. Day one, how's it going so far?
Overwhelming. Pulled in every direction, but we're managing, man. There's a lot of great opportunities here, and my sights are set on exploring every single one of them.
That's it.
Yeah.
Any anticipations for day 2 and 3?
I'm sure it's going to be equally as overwhelming as day one. Especially as more and more people come in and come into town.
Yeah.
But I'm just expecting a crazy event. There's a lot of big names, big speakers. Adam Bach, he's going to be speaking as well. JD Vance. I mean, it's packed to the brim with big names. So definitely excited.
That's it, man. Let's get right into it. Silent Swap. Now, we all know privacy is very important to you. I mean, obviously, we see the mask. Awesome. What is privacy and how is it important to you?
Well, I believe that everybody should have the opportunity to choose privacy or not, right? Like, you choose to walk around the conference and show your face.
Yeah.
I choose to cover mine up, and we might have our different reasons for that. But, the reality of the situation is when you're talking about crypto, I'm sure everybody's hearing on the news pretty much on a weekly basis. There's always something going on with crypto CEOs, crypto founders, kidnapping, extortion.
Yeah.
So when you're known to possess large amounts of money, you become a target. Your family becomes a target. And I've just opted to protect my family to the best of my abilities, hence my gold mask. But when it comes to, blockchain, like Lisa Loud said earlier, everybody thought in the early days that Bitcoin was private. You thought you could just transact privately and nobody would know any different. That's not the case. Obviously, everything that you do on chain is public for the entire world to see it. And, there might be some instances that you want to be able to transact privately. Very similar to like Cash App and Zelle. You wouldn't want the entire world to see who you're Zelling and Cash Apping. We should have the same level of privacy when it comes to crypto. And that's what we set out to do with Silent Swap. So, we set out to build a non-custodial privacy cross-chain aggregator, and we've done that with V1, and now we're getting ready to roll out V2, and just to allow the masses to know that there's an option out there that they can actually transact privately. That there's an option at their fingertips, non-custodially, because obviously you can, move things around privately with custodial options, but I think in the crypto space, most people like the idea of non-custodial. I wouldn't want to, if you were a company, I wouldn't want to, send you $100,000 in Bitcoin and just hope that you're going to send it to where you're supposed to send it. I would prefer to remain in custody the entire time. So that's what we're doing with Silent Swap, man. And, privacy is a big thing. And I think more and more people are starting to realize that. That's why the narrative, I think, right now is privacy. You see more and more people talking about it. So, I think we're on the cuff of something major in the crypto space, and I'm just trying to be one of the leaders and forward speakers and pioneers of utilities when it comes to, private swap.
Yeah, and that word pioneer hits the nail on the head, because really, obviously, in this decentralized space, right, a lot of things are decentralized, but not really that decentralized, right? And obviously with the motive that you have as a pioneer, like you mentioned, is in the direction of true decentralization.
Correct. Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Now, for people that are, looking out from the inside, that maybe want to attend an event like BTC, what would you tell them?
I think the main thing here is, very quickly, if you're getting into the crypto space, you need to learn the difference between custodial and non-custodial, right? Exchanges, they are custodial versions. Everybody's heard of FTX. What happened with FTX? If you had money on it, you lost your money. You don't run that risk when you have your assets in a self-custody wallet. Whether it's a ledger or whether it's MetaMask, you have possession of your private keys. If you're willing to entrust somebody else with your assets, you run the risk of, if something goes belly up, you lose your assets. Look at Tom Brady. He lost $18 million on FTX. If he had held that in a wallet that he controlled solely, he'd still have his $18 million. Not to mention the billions of dollars that went missing with FTX. So, I think if you're just finding crypto for the first time or you're coming to the conference, you need to learn the importance of custodial and non-custodial, and you need to decide what side of the fence you're on. if you're okay to take that risk and gamble, you are in Vegas. So, a lot of people like to gamble. Go with the centralized exchange route. I mean, I use centralized exchanges as well. They, there's certain things that off ramping and such, but primarily, I think everybody should, focus on non-custodial and holding your assets and not entrusting third parties with your finances. So, that's what I would say about that. They need to learn the difference out the gate, and they also need to learn that transacting on the blockchain is not private like everybody's believed in the early days.
Yeah, for sure. It's not like I touched on before. So, thank you very much. And one more thing, for what is to come with Silent Swap in this near future?
Well, like I said, I mean, we're just trying to pioneer a movement, man. Very, very in the near future. We obviously just debuted our demo today on stage of V2, and we're gearing up to launch a V2. And there was a lot of improvements, obviously, from V1 to V2. When going through the process of building something that's never been done before, you learn a lot of things that you could do differently, and that's exactly what we've done with V2. It's faster, it's cheaper, it's more efficient, it was non-custodial to begin with, but it's just a better version of what V1 is. So decided to go with the retro look for it, and trying to change it up a little bit. I mean, if you look at all the swaps and bridges out there, they all look the same. It's all cookie cutter. So with the design of V2, I just tried to do something different. The tech behind it is unlike anything else out there, in my opinion. So I wanted the UI to match that. So we went with like an in-your-face, retro type of look. So, just gearing up to push that live, and I hope that's received well. Trying to get, as much adoption as we can, and push forward. But I built this utility for myself. I realized it was a void that I had at the time, and there was a strong use case for this in the crypto space. So we got to work, and here we are.
Lovely, man. Well, thank you very much. Now, where can the folks find you at home outside of Silent Swap, of course?
They can find me on X. My username is Shibtoshi_SG. Also, Silent Swap is at SilentSwap.com. My parent project to Silent Swap is SquidGrow. That was my original brainchild. We launched in June 2022, and that's Squid_Grow on Twitter. So, percentage of revenue from Silent Swap will be fed into the chart by SquidGrow, and it's a win-win for everybody.
Perfect, man. Well, thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for your time.